You can hear the roar here at the United Center. Hi, everyone. This is Kevin Harlan with Chris Webber and Greg Anthony, our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. The Chicago Bulls here to defend the home court, playing host to the Western Conference. Now let's send it down to David Aldridge, standing by from the sidelines. David?
Thanks very much. Well, Quinn Snyder is the coach here in Utah, and he said, as a coaching staff, we show the players we have confidence in them. And then we're unbelievably demanding. But it has to be mixed with patience. And that, over time, pays off. Kevin?
Teaching and motivating. He's done a nice job, D.A. Thanks. Well, it's the first game of the regular season. Chris, talk about what you expect to see this year in the league overall, the feel you think you're going to get.
Well, I think there's going to be two sides. It's a copycat league, so you're going to see some teams that are going to try to speed up the play. You're going to see some teams that try to increase three-pointers and decrease their mid-range jumpers. And then reality will set in, and then they'll have to kind of get back to playing regular basketball. And for some teams, it's just straight development. How can you develop your young players and get them along with maybe some veterans who are going to be transitioned out in the middle of the year? So right now for coaches, GMs, presidents, there's a lot of optimism, but there's also a lot of prodding and self-examination to see where they will be a year from now, as opposed to putting all their eggs in this season.
The starters for the Utah Jazz. Rubio teams up with Mitchell in the backcourt. Favors and Gobert, the tough pair inside. And it's Ingles in at the 3 spot. Now here's Rubio. Favors with the screen. Here's Mitchell, and it's good. He planted his feet on the pick and shielded the defender off.
Working the in-between area, the kind of look that can get you into a rhythm early.
Yeah, I think he was surprised. He was so open. I mean, that's just a defensive breakdown.
Markkanen against Favors. Got a piece of it. Out of bounds. Bulls ball as Chicago keeps possession. Clock at 6. Here's Parker. No good. Gobert with the defensive effort.
Well, Rudy Gobert has taken on more of a leadership role with this team. Clearly a difference maker on the court with his defense, and will get the team to fall in line. Hard to argue with one of the elite rim protectors in our league.
And the basket by Rubio.
Yeah, no, almost any player left that wide open is going to bury that shot. This is the league. That's poor defensive work.
There's 1:17 left to play in the first quarter. Markkanen sets the pick for Parker. No good from the wing.
And that's the shot you want to create. They just can't get it to fall.
That just shows you can do everything right sometimes, but still get the wrong result.
Nice way to start the evening. His numbers getting calls, and for good reason.
Well, yeah, he's a guy who can carry you for stretches, long stretches in this game. You want to get him involved early and often.
So Chicago going with an almost entirely new group here. Lopez, he's checked in for Carter. Portis comes in for Lauri Markkanen. Denzel Valentine, he's checked in for Jabari Parker. And Justin Holiday subbed in for Levine. So Utah going with an almost entirely new group here. Crowder, he's checked in for Favors. Cephalosha comes in for Joe Ingles. Allen's checked in for Donovan Mitchell. And it's Exum in for Ricky Rubio. And again, Chicago, no good. Cephalosha passes to Crowder. Nice ball movement by Utah. Gobert with it. Gobert the screen. Here's Crowder. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in. Crowder's got his first points of the night. Dunn up top. To end the run, and that's not going to go. And that concludes the first quarter of play. Jazz lead by 6. From the United Center in Chicago, back in a moment. Rudy Gobert talks about his expectations for the team.
every year I want to keep getting better. And, you know, people didn't really believe in our team a few years ago. They were kind of, you know, laughing at us. When I say I want to win a championship, people are laughing. But I believe that we're going to win a championship.
Well, and as a competitor, this is what you should be thinking. And, Greg, you should be talking about winning a title.
For sure. I mean, it'll take a lot of work, but Gobert sounds like he's up for the challenge of proving the doubters wrong.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. What do you guys think about the Jazz here in this one?
Listen, early on taking the league, I just like their approach offensively.
Yeah, right. Only the first quarter. Don't over-panic, but it seems like their strategy is working. We'll see if the other side can counter.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor, all fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. Taking a look at the Bulls, Dunn and Holiday team up in the backcourt. Valentine out there with Portis, and it's Lopez in at the pivot spot manning the middle. So it's Chicago now, following the three-pointer by Utah. Dunn attacking, and he comes up with the deuce. Chris, when you're watching how a team is put together, what signals are you looking for that the pieces now are the right ones for that team to be successful?
Yeah, what I look for is balance of talent. Are you heavy loaded at the point guard position? If you have 5 point guards, it's usually not a great balance. But do you have guys that can specialize in their different areas, rebounding, shooting, dribbling, passing? Do you have players that can space the floor that allows you to play the system that you want? Do you have guys that are engaged and have the ego and the pride to want to get stops on the defensive end? So with me, usually I see that it's a balance when you can kind of check off every box that you need to say, yes, we have what we need this season to get where we want to get.
Jazz leading by 7. Crowder goes in. Passes it to Gobert. Gobert with a screen on Dunn. Here's Exum, and he overdid it there. Too much force, it looked like, on the foul, and he's called for the flagrant.
Boy, a very hard foul that time, and the officials had to slap him with the flagrant. I mean, you can't let him get away with that kind of contact.
Yeah, gee, that's an easy call for the officials to make when there's that much contact. The league is really cracking down on those sort of plays. That's good from Exum. Exum hits them both. So Chicago going with an almost entirely new group here. Carter, he's checked in for Lopez. Markkanen comes in for Portis. Jabari Parker's checked in for Justin Holiday. And Levine subbed in for Chris Dunn. Utah also making some changes. Derek Favors checked in for Gobert. Royce O'Neal comes in for Cephalosha. And Donovan Mitchell subbed in for Allen. Favors with the screen. Out to the wing. O'Neal a screen on Parker. Exum with it. Now defended by Levine. Controls the rebound and puts it back up and in.
Oh, and a nice job of turning that miss into 2 points on the tip in.
Hustle points, I believe they call them. Hustle points right there. And the first time out of the game called for Chicago.
Yeah, you know, some of it's shot selection, some just bad luck, and they just can't get anything going.
Well, this is the dilemma as a coach. You wonder, do I need to call a timeout here? Do I need to settle these guys down? Should I let them play through it?
Ricky Rubio checked in for Utah. That's tipped. Crowder with the steal. 7-second difference, shot and game clock. Here's Mitchell. O'Neal trying to break free. And it's out of bounds. Utah able to retain possession here. Rubio against Levine. Mitchell kicks to Favors. Favors with the screen. Shot clock at 5. The kick out to Crowder. And Utah, another 3.
And with his feet set, Crowder can definitely hurt you from long range.
To the left side wing. And play stops. Whistle on what looks to be an illegal screen.
And had the right idea there in calling for the screen, but he was just slow to get to the spot and didn't get set.
Yeah, as a big fella, that's the thing, Greg. You got to be quick in setting those screens. If you get a little lazy, you get called for it.
So we've reached the end of the first half of play. It's the Jazz. They lead by 14. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thank you, Kevin. With Coach Quinn Snyder, Quinn, what has to happen in the second half?
Well, we got to keep getting stops and really just make plays. Make plays on the offensive end and be solid defensively. No magic.
It's a pretty simple game, right, Coach? Thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks, David. And we'll be back shortly following halftime to get the third quarter underway.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here with Shaq and Kenny, and a favorite time of the year as we're halfway through one of the first games of this fresh NBA season. Utah finds themselves ahead after 2 quarters. They lead by 14. Kenny?
That was the half of the super sub for them. A lot of offense coming off the bench, and that's such a luxury to have that kind of firepower available. There were times when the pace picked up when the second unit came into the game. And that's the best part, having a bunch of guys who's ready at the drop of a hat.
And Shaq, what'd you think about Chicago?
Their field goal percentage reminds me of Kenny's breath. Brutal. Not reading the defense, not getting enough quality looks. They need to make major changes because the system they ran in the first half was not working.
And that's all we have for now. Tell the folks goodbye, Shaq. Tell the folks goodbye,
Goodbye.
Kenny. Goodbye. Go to Kevin Harlan.
Welcome back to the hustle and bustle of Chicago, a time-lapse view of all the traffic heading toward downtown. And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. You look at Jay Crowder, he's really been playing well.
But really, the numbers aren't gaudy. They don't stick out, but his energy and impact does.
You're right. Go in the locker room, ask anyone on his team. He's not worried about statistics as much as he is about winning.
Well, we're getting back to the action now. It's been a one-team show so far. We'll see if that changes here in the third. You know, for years, the adage has been that, C-Web, big men take longer to develop than other positions. Does that still ring true today?
I don't think so. I think today the point guard position, because the point guard position is the toughest position in the game. I think when the big men did take the longest to develop, it was because the big man position, the center and power forward, were the toughest, and that's kind of changed. Cat and B didn't take very long to develop. Big men coming to the league, they're more polished now, and I think the fact that the coaches, the coaching, the skill sets now are so much more alike that guys can make it easier adjustment into the game because they've been playing their game and adjusting a lot longer than maybe the players before that had to find a different role once they entered into the pros.
Checking out the group for Quinn Snyder to start the second half. Favors and Gobert, the tough pair inside. Rubio teams up with Mitchell in the backcourt. And it's Ingles in at the 3. For Utah, they have been perfect at the line so far, albeit just 2 for 2.
And just to mention, a season ago, they were very comfortable at the line, hitting about 78% of their free throws.
And that one falls for Favors. And for so long, it seems Derek Favors had played in a crowded front court, but still can get the job done.
And Favors has shown his versatility and impact in spot minutes his whole career. Every team can use a player like Favors. He just eats up space inside and can play that tough D. Offensively, I think he'd like to get back to where he was around 2015, and hopefully he'll find the chances to do so.
Now here's Levine. Pass to Portis. Carter sets the pick for Levine. And stolen by Favors. Pass to Burks. To the paint, here's Rubio. An easy 2 points on the layup. Rubio's got his second basket of the game.
And some guys just have a nose for scoring, and this one couldn't have been any easier.
I mean, I don't know whether to say it's amazing or it's sad, but you're down double digits and you still allow an uncontested layup. Where is the pride? Where is your heart?
Now here's Levine. Dunn kicks to Portis. Shot clock at 6. Shoots over Burks. Here's Carter, and denied. He sends it right off the glass.
Solid rebound there, and with the score like it is, that's an area where they can't afford to get lazy. How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over.
And Kevin, they've been committing a lot of turnovers here. Taking care of the basketball is the #1 priority right now in that huddle. They've got to tighten it up.
Denzel Valentine, he's checked in for Chris Dunn. The Jazz also changing it up. Thabo Sefolosha has checked in for Favors. And Royce O'Neal subbed in for Joe Ingles. Portis kicks to Valentine. And there's the pass to Parker. There's a screen. He dishes it to Carter. Parker trying to free himself up. And Carter with the basket on the assist by Parker.
That pass into the paint, that is a work of art there, dead on target.
Passes it to O'Neal. Sefolosha with it. Nice ball movement by Utah. Gobert with a screen on Levine. Shoots off the screen, and again it's Utah.
And the jump shot has been a dimension of this game where they've had a clear advantage.
Right at the free throw line. No good. And so it's Utah, holding a 22-point lead as the quarter wraps up. The scoring has been tremendous, and they are shooting lights out with very high accuracy. Back right after this. And it's time now to bring you our State Farm assist of the game.
Just true artistry right there. I mean, great decision on where to go with the ball, and how about the perfect delivery?
How about the unselfishness? Night in and night out, we see guys trying to force their own agenda. Not that time.
And we welcome you back as we get going here in the fourth quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. Parker and Markkanen, your small and power forwards. Zach LaVine is out there with Valentine. And it's Carter in at the 5 spot. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago.
A slight rebound advantage for them. One more column in their favor, and it's all adding up.
And there's the 3-second call, this one on the defense. For a long time, beat writers and media personnel have determined NBA awards. C-Web, as someone who's been up for some of these, do you feel the voting system as structured now is fair?
I don't know how it can be fair if it doesn't have any players or coaches involved. You know, I can't necessarily vote on the best doctors because I don't know what it entails, but I can definitely trust other doctors to give their comments on their peers. I think peer awareness is some of the most reliable that you can go for. But, I mean, we have some very knowledgeable writers, sports writers, and media personnel that know. But for the most part, you need help of the players and the coaches to make sure that the integrity is there.
And count it. He'll head to the line with a chance to make it 3. And that sends Donovan Mitchell to the free throw line. It's going to be on Wendell Carter. Here's what Utah's going with right now. Bradley's checked in for Gobert. Allen comes in for Cephalosha. And it's Dante Exum in for Ricky Rubio. Free throw drops for Mitchell.
Yeah, and when you watched the Chicago Bulls last year, you knew they were rebuilding, but they played very hard. You respected that and won some games that surprised people.
Here's Felicio, and there's the foul on Jay Crowder. That's his first foul, and the Jazz making a change here. Udo's checked in. Allen against Holiday.
Get down, Rob.
And he makes that one. And as for the coach of the Bulls, Hoiberg had his worst record last year, but Chris may have done his best job yet, some people feel.
They turned out to be a surprisingly fun team to watch.
Now here's Allen. Back to Exum. They set the screen. 5 to shoot, and the foul called on Cameron Payne. That's his first foul.
Yeah, clearly a foul of frustration right there.
So it's both teams making substitutions here. Exum with it, now guarded by Dunn. And here's Exum. Clock at 6. And stolen by Dunn. And now in transition is Parker. Here we go. It's been all Jazz.
Yes, and with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who watched it. Just a total mismatch and a true show of strength for Utah.
And this was one that never really was in doubt, I thought, an all-around dominant performance. And you kind of thought that maybe even going into the game.
Yeah, there was a sense of that, and man, they just pretty much blew them right out of the water. A clinic was put on display here today.
And it'll go down as their first official win of the new year.
And this is a great way for them to kick off this season series. 2 more games ahead, and they've taken the mental advantage with this win tonight.
And, you know, looking back at all the contributions tonight, it was a really phenomenal all-around game for Ricky Rubio.
Wow, he owned this game. He never stopped working. He did it all for them, and you can't help but admire that kind of effort.
That's good from Exum. Not too long ago, C-Web, triple-doubles were widely celebrated. Now you see much more of them all over the league. What's been the change there, do you think?
I think the change has been the style of play and the removal of the big man. Being that there are no longer a slew of 7-footers in there rebounding, guards can come in there and do some amazing things in rebounding. And I'm amazed with Westbrook coming in and rebounding over the 7-footers. You also have better spacing, and so if I'm a one-on-one player, I get past my guy, I can trust it that if I throw it to a wide-open shooter now, because of the way that we've drawn the defenses in, there may be a few more open looks. And so I still respect it. I still respect the energy, the focus, the fact that you have to be all over the floor to do it. But, you know, besides the fact that there's longer threes taken, or besides the fact that there's more small lineups, I still think it's a feat to be respected, even though we're seeing an increase in them now.
This is not the team we've been watching for most of the night.
Monster scoring run, but had to do this earlier. Now it shoulda, woulda, coulda, all that.
First free throw is good. And he can't hit the second. Now here's Payne. And so it's Utah easily grabbing the win. To come into an opponent's building and dominate the way they did tonight says, I think, Greg, an awful lot about this team.
I guess they don't need home cooking to feel at home. I mean, Kevin, just a masterful performance all the way around.
And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thank you, Kevin. With Dante Exum. Dante, still a young guy in this league. What do you want to focus on with your development?
I think it's just staying in the defensive end. Sometimes in the heat of the play, you kind of lose sight of it, and it's just about staying in there and just helping your teammates out. So,
a very young guy on a very good team. Thank you, Dante. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. And that about wraps it up. For Chris Webber, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. So long, everyone.